Happy Vlogmas Day 6. Random start. My stepdad is working from home today, so he is like on his computers in meetings all day. I'm just trading out some milk for freshly frozen, or older frozen for upstairs. New bottles were supposed to be for Christmas, but yesterday he drank 4 ounces in his 4-ounce bottle and then nursed for 5 minutes. So he needs more. So I'm gonna wash them and just give them to him now. Hi. Do you like it in there? You should have seen the huge smile he had as soon as he went in there. Oh, you love it. You love it. Ricky must be a mind reader because I think I said like a vlog or two ago that we were gonna take our bed down this weekend, and he took it down last night. So greatly appreciated. I walked in last night to go to bed and it was down. I was like, when did you have time to do that? And he's like, before supper. I'm like, perfect. I had been meaning to film a labor/delivery video since Kyrie's been 2 months, but I thought I'd save it for Vlogmas because it's like a topic of conversation. And the reason I wanted to, I'm filming this while putting my clothes away. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because I found that before I went into labor, it helped kind of soothe my mind, because of course some people have horror stories, but not everybody's is a horror story, and in the moment things may seem scary, but they don't always end up being scary. So I kind of want to talk about my experience. So I just want to start off by saying that we never definitely knew Kyrie's due date. My period was adding up to it being the 19th of August, but the ultrasound said the 15th of August. And I ended up having him the 11th of August on my grandfather's birthday, which is like, he was just meant to come that day, right? When I woke up that morning around 3 maybe, and I was having really bad cramping, and I was fairly lucky. I hadn't had any cramping my whole period, my whole pregnancy. Like I had a little bit of Braxton Hicks, but they weren't like that, you know what I mean? Like right away they were like period cramps. So I like went to the bathroom and peed a couple times, thought maybe I needed, you know, do a bowel movement, I don't know, and I got up and I was like literally laying on the end of the bed like this in so much pain. And that morning Rakeem was going to work at like waking up at 6, so I was like, okay, I'll let him sleep until 6, and then like if I need to go to the hospital, we'll go. I went upstairs, told my mom. She didn't think I was in labor, neither did I. But around like 5 o'clock or 5:30, I was walking to the bathroom and a little bit of water was trickling out. And if you had been following along at all on TikTok, and I think I even talked about it on YouTube one video during my pregnancy, that I had extreme chafing, not on my thighs. I had extreme chafing on my bikini line, so I couldn't wear underwear most of my pregnancy. It was unbearable. So Rakeem woke up that morning and I had underwear on and a pad, and he's like, okay, this shit is serious. So while he was sleeping, I packed up the remaining of my stuff that I needed. When he woke up, we were gonna go to our local smaller hospital just to see like how dilated I was. I had an appointment that Tuesday and it was Friday, and she checked me and I seem to have been dilated like 1. While he's eating, I'm just gonna continue. Mom was like, no, just go right to the town, go right to the city and go to that hospital, because she's like, they won't be able to tell you anything there anyway. I was like, all right, that's fine. So we went right to town. It's an hour drive. So the whole time I was like having cramping, and it was like 2 minutes to like 1.5 minutes between each other. We stopped at Tim's on the way to get food. My sister made fun of Rakeem because she was like, oh, of course he's eating and you're in labor. And it's like, well, I wanted to stop because I was like, what if I am in labor? So by the time we get to the hospital, I get out of the car and it gush all in my pants, and I'm like, okay, I'm in labor. So I go to the front desk in the hospital. I'm like, I think I'm in labor. And they're like, okay, you go up to the maternity ward. I go to the maternity room, like the maternity ward. And I'm like, I think I'm in labor. And they're like, okay, we'll put you in an assessment room. So they put me in an assessment room and I like really had to pee. And, but I needed another pad and my pants were like literally soaked through. So I was like, I need someone, and they were like taking a while to get to me. So Raheem was like, I'll go out and ask, because all my pads and everything were still in the car, because I didn't think we were gonna stay overnight. So Raheem went out and told them like, hey, like she needs something, she's wet. And they're like, what do you mean she's wet? Like they didn't think I was in labor, like we didn't think I was in labor. So then they brought me a pad and they checked the pad, and they like, you pee in like a little like bucket thing so they can see it, and it was I don't remember the proper term, but he pooped inside of me and my water did break. But because he pooped inside of me, it puts him and me at risk. So I kind of jumped everybody else that was already there if it was like not essential, like that, because it just puts you at risk of infection and complications. So then I had to be on the drip, on like I had to be like induced, I think is what it's called. So I had an IV in my arm the whole time. They had to put a like a heart monitor on the baby, and then like also something that was like tracking the like contractions and how bad they are, and they also had to induce me. So because of that, like I could get up, but like it was a lot of work and stuff to pee and all that. But I also had a nurse assigned to me the whole time, and it was nice to have somebody there the whole time. She was a very experienced nurse. She had been working at the Summerside Hospital since 2006 in the maternity ward, and that's the year my sister was born. So like that's been almost 18 years, which is a long time, and it made me like very comfortable. We got to the hospital around 8 o'clock and they checked how far along I was, and I was only like maybe dilated 2, like it was barely anything. I got to my own room, my family all came down. It seemed to have been going by very, very slowly, and I didn't realize that I could get the epidural whenever I wanted. I was taking the epidural. I said, give me any medicine I can take to take the pain away. It was like very, very, very extreme period cramps is what it feels like. So finally I was like, I need the epidural. Like I was in excruciating pain. They put the epidural in, and all of a sudden, within like 30 minutes of getting the epidural, I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna have like the biggest poop of my life. I'm sorry, like that's gross, but that's how it felt. And my mom's like, oh, Jalen, you should tell the nurse. Like usually when that happens, it's time to push. So the nurse came back in and I was like, I feel like I'm gonna poop. Like I have a lot of pressure on my butt. She's like, okay, let me check. I was dilated 8. Oh my god, my camera's about to die. Okay, we'll stop it there. I was dilated 8. And the nurse had just told my dad it'd be like another like 10 to 12 hours before I had the baby. So the epidural did not work. It only froze about half of my body. Like one leg I couldn't feel anything, the other one I could. Yeah, it was rough in the moment. I don't remember the pain of pushing. The second that the baby is in your arms, it's like your body's way of protecting you and making you get pregnant more than once. The second that baby's in your arms, you don't remember the pain of pushing. I remember the rest of the pain. I remember like the cramps, but that might be because I had experienced period cramps before and they were very similar, but I do not remember the pain of pushing. I only pushed for 16 minutes and then he was born at 5:56 p.m. on my grandfather's birthday. My doctor was great. I had Dr. Barbara. Her energy was like super calming. So let's get into a couple of questions people asked. So I just posted, thinking about filming a labor and delivery video. Is there anything specific I should cover? Things to talk about / questions to answers. First one, how is your labor nurses and aftercare nurses? I was told by the nurses at the hospital that the labor and delivery, like the maternity ward, is either super crazy or dead. And when I was there, it was super crazy. So the nurses were run off their feet and were very tired, like did not stop working the whole time. So labor nurse was great because I was induced, so I had to have a nurse with me the whole time, right? So that was like different. Aftercare, it took them like hours to get to us. I asked for another like Tylenol or Advil, whatever they give you, like the extra strength ones, on day 2. Like I gave birth and then like the next day, and it took them like 5 hours to get it to me. And like every time they come in, I'd be like, can I have it? And they just keep forgetting. And like the nipple cream I took, they said like it wasn't good and they'd get me this, and then they never gave it to me. So like before I left the hospital, I was like, I need this before I leave, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll get it, and then they got it. That is not their fault. It was crazy in there. Next question: how you and Rakeem felt directly after pushing him out? Did pain stop after pushing him out? Right after pushing him out, it was like so much emotion. I actually took this camera and we like filmed the whole thing. So like Rakeem, like we got a video of us like right after, basically like holding him. Like literally the doctor was giving me my stitches and I'm holding him and Rakeem's videotaping, and I'm so happy to have that moment. It was very emotional, very surreal, like holding your baby, getting teary-eyed, but it's very like a very surreal moment. And still, like, he's almost 4 months and it's like, this is my baby. Did the pain stop right after? Yeah, I had really bad heartburn like throughout my whole pregnancy, and I had like a little bit that first night. After that, none. My chafing stopped instantly, and like I said, I needed some stitches. I didn't even like, I was just like, I was holding Kyrie while getting them, and it was just like an endorphin rush and like all that stuff. So like I don't even remember getting the stitches, and I'm not tough. Like I am very scared. I've never stayed in a hospital before. I've never been admitted into a hospital. It was very like scary, the thought of pushing him out. I stopped talking for a little bit, but how was your first period after giving birth bad? So the funny thing is, I'm nursing, so a lot of people who nurse actually are, some of them, I shouldn't say most of them, some of them are very fortunate and never get their period back as long as they're nursing. I was hoping that'd be me. Silly me to think I'd be that lucky. I actually got my period back this month. When Kyrie turned 3 months, I started almost right away, and I had it for 2.5 weeks. Was it bad? No, it was just long, and I'm not used to that. Like my periods usually only last 3 days, but I'm also on a new form of birth control. I'm using the patch now, and it was very minimal bleeding. It was mostly just on my pad. There was really nothing else. I had bad cramps like twice, but it was for like 10 minutes and I was like literally leaning over like crying. Other than that, it was okay. I'm hoping that it's like a one and done, like it doesn't come back, but we'll see next month. Another question: can you give us some suggestions on postpartum products? My favorite postpartum products are the Freedom Mom brand. I talked and raved about them on TikTok. Get the Freedom Mom products. When you're in the hospital, just hot tip, when you're in the hospital, take advantage of their postpartum products if they're offering them to you. They do in the hospitals down here at least. And use them if you can. If you're uncomfortable, don't. But the Freedom Mom products that were my favorite, I will have pictures of them right here, is the disposable underwear type thing. You don't feel like you're wearing a diaper, and it's like, they're nice. I know you're only supposed to use them once and then throw them out. I did not do that. I wore mine for like 3 days. I just like would put a pad on it, rip it off, and then whenever it was like starting to rip in the back, I'd get rid of it because it's expensive and you only get 8 in a pack. I also loved the witch hazel pads. They literally are like baby wipes, and you just lay them down and they're so nice. Like it's wet, but it's not like wet, like it's just like nice and cold. And it was like so soothing. It was like the best thing ever. Like I don't know why I didn't start using them right away in the hospital. I didn't. I wish I would have. And I also loved their ice pack pads. They're thick. Their products are the best. What are some things that I should make sure I take to the hospital that I might not think of? Noise machine. Babies love noise machines. We didn't buy one until he was about, I'd say like almost a week old. Regret it. I wish we had one right away. It is the best thing ever. Something you might not think of: take a swaddle for your baby, take a sleep sack for your baby, whatever you're trying to use at night. At the hospital, we just tried to like swaddle the baby in a blanket. Didn't work. And also take multiple baby size outfits to be the going home outfit. The one we had planned literally still fits him now. Like that, like it was 0 to 3 months. You don't know how small your baby's gonna be. You don't know how big your baby's gonna be. So make sure you're prepared. Oh, also something you might not think that you need, but you do need is comfy pajamas that preferably look like clothes. I did not change out of my pajamas the first day because you feel like shit. So I bought these pajamas off Amazon. I got them in black and navy, and they're my favorite pajamas now. Like I could get rid of every other pair of pajamas and just buy these in every color. They're amazing. Yeah, I had one more question, and it was, what was the scariest thing to do after giving birth? Everything was scary after giving birth, like my body wise, but also like going home with a baby. It's scary, especially when it's your first, obviously. That first shower was scary. There's gonna be a lot of blood. There's gonna be, and it's okay. And if you're feeling lightheaded, the nurses are there to help you, and they're prepared for that. That's okay. Your body literally just birthed another baby, and you did it, and you survived. The first bowel movement is very scary. Even peeing the first couple times, very scary. Use your sitz bath. Use it. Like pee right in it. The doctors told me, the nurses told me, pee right in it. My mom was like, I never peed in it, I just sat in it. Nope, pee in it. Fill that shit up with like warmer water, lots of salt, sit in it and pee. It makes it so much better. I didn't my first 2 pees. Horrible. Third one, like a charm. Bowel movement scary. Make sure you have stool softener. And I took my stool softener for like maybe a week after having the baby. Anyway, that's all the questions. I hope I answered them right and you guys are like happy with my answers. But having a baby is scary, and if you're pregnant right now and you're scared, it's normal and it's okay, but you can do it, because girl, I did it. And I'm like one of the most chicken shit people I've ever seen. Like blood grosses me out. Like I get lightheaded when I see my period blood. I didn't this time though, girl, let me tell you, after giving birth and having that first shower, I did not. Like I can't use tampons. The hospitals creep me out. I can't get blood work. After being pregnant though, I think I'd be a pro at getting blood work. I got it done so much. Like things like that gross me out. Like I did it, you can do it. I believe in you. You got this. I hope that's encouraging and not like scaring people, but like it is what it is.